Hey guys, before we get to service, we just wanted to let you know that Different Church has new merch. All you have to do is Venmo at Different Church $25, and that includes shipping. Then you'll put in the notes your size, color, and shipping address. Okay, now let's get back to service. See ya.
Hey y'all, I'm Eliza. Welcome to Different Church's YouTube campus. While you're here, go ahead and subscribe and turn on your post notifications. And don't forget to follow our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you're feeling led to, go to dfrnt.church and hit the generosity tab. And from wherever you're watching, I hope that you get something from this video and you come back next week and watch.
What if they found out? What if they knew? How long can I keep this a secret? It's really not that bad. I don't have a problem.
Different Church, welcome. Hey, real quick, I don't know where you are. If you're a part of our YouTube campus, and I don't do this a lot, and I'm really bad about it, our heart here, and I'm not trying to get super serious off the jump, but our heart here is wherever you watch from, wherever you tune in, or you read the Bible with us, whatever, that if you're going through something, reach out. DM us, go to our website, dfrnt.church, and send us an email, go to Instagram, Twitter, wherever, TikTok. Send us a message. Let us know where you watch from and how we can pray for you, because I promise you, our team here, that's what we do. Our team here prays for you every single day. And so don't be a stranger, and everybody a part of the 615 location, man. We love you, and we're praying for you, and we're thankful for you. Now, we've been in a series called I Don't Have a Problem, okay? And can I tell you, if you haven't, maybe this is your first time tuning into this series. If you haven't, this has been one of the hardest series, me personally, I've ever preached, right? Because I don't naturally like talking about like challenging stuff, right? Like I don't wake up and go, man, I wonder how many people I can confront and make uncomfortable. I don't do that. Like, I don't like that. That's not my vibe. I don't want to do that. I love encouraging. I feel like, personally, my calling on this earth is to encourage. But sometimes, I remember I had a coach, all of my coaches, really, football and basketball, they encouraged me. They threw some curse words in there and almost hit me a couple of times. They encouraged me. Sometimes encouragement is, don't go that way. Let me encourage you to turn around for a little bit. Let me just help you out. And this series has been crazy hard. But something I love is Jesus was never uncomfortable talking about uncomfortable things. He never was. But for some reason, the church, you start talking about anything, right? Oh, someone's gay. I'm so weird. Or this person struggles with this, and we get so weird, and it's like, no. It's only weird when you make it weird. Like, don't make it, Jesus didn't make it weird. But I don't like things that hurt. I don't think any of us like things that hurt, right? So I've been trying, I don't know if you can tell in person or online, I don't know if you can tell, I've been trying to work out a little bit, okay? I love working out my arms and my chest and my back. I like working that out. You know what I don't like working out? The legs. I hate it. It hurts so bad. I don't want to move. I hate working out my legs. So you know what I decided a little while ago? I'm just not going to do legs. It's easy. It hurts. Don't do it. I'm just not going to do them. And you can do that. That's fine. I'll be unbalanced. I won't be everything I could possibly be. And I think most of our Christian walk is, I want the type of Christianity where I like how I look when I put myself up against the Bible. I like the scriptures that make me feel good about myself. I don't like the scriptures, so I'm not going to do the devotionals that talk about the things that hurt me. I don't want to do legs when I come to church. I just want to do arms. I just want to look really strong. Can I tell you, you're going to be lopsided. You're not going to be proportionate, and really, you're not going to become everything God created you to be. You're just not. So you've got to learn how to talk about uncomfortable things. You just have to, or you're never going to grow. So in this I Don't Have a Problem series, we talked about anger. We talked about greed. We talked about money. People get so uncomfortable talking about money. And we talked about last week was probably one of the hardest messages I've ever preached, gossip. Ugh, gossip. Oh, don't call me talking about your grandma. It's uncomfortable. But Jesus talked about it, and he was perfectly comfortable talking about it. Now we're talking about this topic, lust. Lust. Now, you know why I think we don't, you know why I don't think we talk about anger or greed or any of these things? When you're an alcoholic and you struggle with alcoholism, you show up places drunk. People know, people can smell. If you struggle with drug addiction, you show up places high. People can tell. You know when you struggle with gossip, you know what you can still do? Walk into church and worship. You know when you struggle with lust, you know what you can still do? Go to the altar and just do your thing. Ask me, listen, my team makes fun of me for saying this phrase. Ask me how I know. I've been there. You know you can struggle with greed and still show up to church and open that door and serve and look really good. So these are things we don't really have to talk about a lot because it doesn't seem like anyone, on the outside, it doesn't seem like anyone has a problem. But when we talk about these passages where Jesus is saying, hey, these people will be separated from me, he's not just talking about the drunk and the person that gets high all the time. He's really talking about these people that are holding the door, that are worshiping, that are preaching, that have these struggles. And so now we get to this conversation of lust. Lust. Now, I will say, when I first got into church and I struggled with pornography, sleeping around with other girls, whatever, and obviously I was in high school, the fix was, this is what I was told, the fix was the church's grand scheme to help me with my lust. The fix was, get married. Get married. It'll go away. Just magically, I've never heard a married person struggle with lust. Never. In my entire life, I've never heard like a married couple go, actually, we really deal with lust. Just because you can have sex regularly doesn't mean you don't still struggle with lust. And we'll get into that, but it's so easy to hide these things. And Jesus doesn't want anything to be hid. You know what's crazy? You know why Jesus is so comfortable talking? He sees it already. You don't see my stuff. I don't see your stuff, but you know why he's comfortable talking about it? Because he's been watching it the whole time. Now that, he knows. Like that just makes me feel. But he knows. That's why he's like, hey, just talk. It's cool. Just talk about it. Why wouldn't you? He already knows. Just talk about it. But that's been the fix. And so if you have a Bible, you turn to Matthew 5, and you're probably about to click off like, dude, I'm not even trying to have this conversation. I understand. I get it. Maybe you need to take a break and come back later. I don't know who you are or where you are. But it's a lot more than just what you click on and who you talk to. A lot more than that. So you have a Bible, you turn to Matthew 5. We're in verse 27. Check it out. Verse 27. You have heard the commandment. So Jesus, these are words in red. So Jesus is talking to a bunch of people. This is really Jesus' first sermon. Jesus is talking to people that have never heard, God speak, right? Like Jesus was God speaking. They had heard, look, you have heard the commandment that says you must not commit adultery. But I say, anyone who even looks at a woman with lust has already committed adultery with her in his heart. This is what no one likes to talk about, verse 29. So if your eye, this is my favorite part, even your good eye causes you to lust, gouge it out and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to be thrown in hell. Verse 30, and we're done. And if your hand, fellas, even your stronger hand, causes you to sin, cut it off. Throw it away. It is better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to be thrown into hell. Look at the very beginning. What are the first, 3 words? You have heard. Jesus is almost saying, there's a common misconception among you guys that I'm hearing and that I've been a part of. You've heard that this is what lust is. And in the context, he's saying, you've heard lust was don't cheat on your wife. You've heard from these pastors, just don't cheat on your wife. And really at the time, Pharisees would divorce their wives a bunch. They wouldn't cheat on them, so they didn't struggle with lust. They just get a new one. But they didn't lust. They didn't have the issue. They didn't struggle. I didn't sleep with someone else. And so Jesus is saying, hey, it's a lot deeper than this. And you've heard this, and isn't it crazy how you can hear, someone can say something, but you can hear something totally. You ever had a friend come to you and say, hey, I need some advice. I need dating advice, I need financial advice, whatever. And you sit in the car with them, you're at lunch with them, and you're telling them what needs to happen. And they get out of that conversation and they heard something you didn't say at all. You're like, I was not telling you to get back with that dude. How did you hear that with what I don't understand. That's what he's saying. You have heard, one, God didn't say just commit adultery. He said lust, but you've been hearing something totally different from the people that have been preaching. And I think that before we can talk about anything, lust-related topic, you've got to ask yourself, have I heard it from God's mouth? Not from Tyler's mouth, not from your favorite preacher's mouth on social media, none of that. Have you heard it? And if you don't know, how do I hear the voice of God? I'll show you. These are his words written down. This is the voice of God right here. Because I hear all the time, well, someone told me in the Bible. You ever heard that? Well, my grandma told me in the Bible it said. And it's like, that is nowhere in the Bible at all. How did you? But I heard it, so it's got to be true. Have you? And hey, you're not a demon if you have to Google the Bible. You're not a demon if that happens. You're not unsaved, nothing. I do it all the time. If you really have a question before you go to a person, before you go anywhere else, run. And we could stop the sermon right here, that this is what needs it. You run to this right here. Nothing else, no other words matter about anything you struggle with. This is the only thing that matters. But the people at the time, they had people tell them. So they kind of believed what these people believed. And Jesus, when he came on the scene, did you know Jesus wasn't murdered by people that didn't believe in him? Like, he wasn't murdered by the people we would think, like the atheists, and he wasn't murdered by them. You know who he was murdered by, right? The preachers at the time, the pastors at the time, because he was kind of calling out about one, he said that he was the son of God. He said that he was God. But this was his first sermon. And he's saying, hey, you've heard. Saying, hey, these dudes have been preaching this. But here's what God says. Here's what God says about this topic. And I think that before you can go anywhere else, before you do anything, before you make any type of decision whatsoever, don't DM us first. Don't run to whoever, your grandma, your cousin, your auntie, your whatever. Don't run to them. Here. Right here. And really, and this is scary, that limits how much power people have over you. And this has nothing to do with this sermon. I'm just kind of, you'd be surprised at how many decisions you don't have to ask people to make for you when you start reading this. Be surprised. But he says, you have heard that committing adultery was the issue. You've heard that. He says, but I say. But I say. Well, I mean, you have heard the commandment that says you must not commit adultery. So he's almost saying that's all they've ever heard about the topic lust. Don't cheat. Don't cheat. But I say, anyone who even looks at a woman with lust has already cheated. Dude, that ups the stakes. That's a little bit harder. Not a little bit harder. And when he says, hey, look at a woman, he's look at a man, look at him regardless. That's a little bit harder. And I think that in this topic, because we don't talk about it, we just think it'll solve itself. And can I tell you, and if you've ever dealt with an issue, they don't solve themselves. Right? Like if you have a bike and it's starting to rust, but you're like, okay, I'm gonna get a new bike, I'm not gonna worry about this bike, and you put it in the garage, don't expect in a year for you to show up for the rust to be gone. You didn't fix the rust on the old bike, therefore, you come back a year later, there's gonna be more rust on the bike. When something's not touched, when something's not dealt with, it can only decay. It can only get worse. And so when whatever the issue is, whatever the sin you're struggling with is, lust, greed, jealousy, gossip, lying, anger, whatever, don't think, okay, I'm gonna get this job, that'll fix itself. No, it will only get worse. It'll only get worse. I think that's what we try to do with, especially lust, because it's so awkward to talk about. Hey, when I get out of college, it'll fix itself. When I get married, it'll fix itself. But I say, anyone who even looks at a woman with lust. Why is Jesus is really kind of up in the state. He's really kind of making it hard for me to live my life now. I kind of liked it whenever it was just don't cheat on my wife. Now he's saying, hey, don't look. Don't even get close. I think because you don't start with cheating. You don't start with adultery. It starts months before. It starts years before. And Jesus, if we know anything about him, he is more concerned about your heart than your hands. He knows changing your hands doesn't necessarily change your heart. I don't cheat on my wife doesn't mean my heart isn't still struggling in this area. But Jesus knows, if I can touch your heart, if we can change your heart, your hands will follow. But for some reason, myself included, the church loves changing your hands. Hey, if you're gonna mess up, just don't do it like in public. Just don't do it because if you do that, then I have to talk about it. Hey, shh. I've even heard people say, hey, don't tell me, I don't wanna know. It's just, you struggle, you die over there, just don't tell me, I don't wanna deal with it. It's like, no. Jesus is like, hey, I want all the smoke. Give me the heart. I don't want your hands, I want your heart. Let's talk about this stuff that nobody wants to talk about. Let's talk about it. But I say, even if you look at a woman with lust, we can hide it, can't we? And they had been hiding. Everyone you can imagine, they said there were thousands of people at this sermon. How many of them had been hiding it for so long and they had never heard? And Jesus just walks into the scene and goes, hey, let's really talk about something. I know it's uncomfortable, but let's talk about it. And I do have to say, before we move forward, Single people. If you were told by somebody that getting married would fix your lust problem, your pornography problem, just because you could have sex regularly, can I tell you, that was a lie. They lied to you. I'm a pastor. I've been married for 8 years. It just magically fall off when I got married. It just didn't. There was something in me that had to change. There was a discipline that had to change. Every single morning, I had to carry my cross convictionally, still do, because that was a part of my process. That was a part of my journey. So if somebody ever told you that getting married is the fix, they lied to you. They lied to you. I think that we love putting Band-Aids over like cancer. We love doing that. It just looks really good. It's like, no. Now you're bringing something into a marriage. If you know anything about cancer, you've ever had anyone deal with it, it spreads. It spreads everywhere. And when you don't, and Jesus knew that, when you don't deal with this topic of lust, it will spread everywhere. It will. But you kind of have to go to what's the definition? Okay, so if I'm going to change something, what's the definition of lust? Like, Tyler, walk me through. I had to go look up, like, okay, what is Pastor Webster telling me the definition of lust is? What is it? And it's simple. It's exactly what you probably think it is. A very strong sexual desire. Now, can you lust for something that's not sex? Can you lust? Here's what I'll tell you. I lust after food all the time. Stuff I shouldn't eat, I do. So, can you lust after things that aren't sexual? Yes. But in this context that Jesus is talking about, he's talking about a strong sexual desire towards somebody or something. And he's really kind of upping the stakes on what it looks like. Okay. If you're single, can we talk to this camera right here? Can we talk to the middle camera real quick? If you're single, it can be, I've been single for a long time. It can be hard. And I get it. I understand. I know. Because it's so much more, especially when you're single, there's so many more pitfalls that you can fall down. I get it. I understand. I've been there. But I think we have a misconception when it comes to how to handle me living in lust. Like when I have a strong desire towards something, we always want to fix it. I had a guy come to me one time, he said, "Hey Tyler, man, I don't agree with the don't have sex before you're married." I said, "Okay." He said, "Because if I'm going to buy a car, I've got to test drive it first before I commit to it." So I looked at him. I said, well, two things. One, I probably wouldn't talk about like my future spouse as an object. That's one. I said, but two, do you not trust the dealer of the car? Don't say you don't trust how the car will drive if you don't have faith that the dealer's giving you something. If you're saying, I can't commit to someone because I don't trust that God put this person in my life, just say you have a faith problem or a trust problem, not a, I just want to have sex with this person. That's not the fix for it. That's not going to find out anything. If you really believe God sent this person into your life for a reason, don't say, well, I got to have sex just so I know. You don't trust God then. You don't trust God. We come up with any excuse. Any excuse. It's like, dude, if you have a faith problem, then you have a faith. That's fine. Just call it what it is. You don't trust God that this person's who you really should be with. You got to try something out. What's God saying? You don't trust that this person that you prayed for, that I sent, you don't trust that this person is going to fulfill every need for you? Or do you just want to have sex? Is this just an area that you struggle with? Dude, being in church, I've heard it all. I promise. I've heard it all, especially, man, doing youth, doing youth for like 10 years. You heard it all. And it was never yes, there was a lust problem, but it got even deeper than that. It was do you believe that God is who he says he is, and that it's hard. So, okay. You have heard the commandment that says you must not commit adultery. But I say, anyone who even looks at a woman with lust has already committed adultery with her in his heart. How do I fix it? Right? Everyone wants to talk about don't have sex before you're married, don't look at pornography, don't touch yourself, don't do all that. Everyone wants to talk about that. Tyler, how do I fix myself? Like, that's all. That's cool. You're not giving me the medicine to heal me. You're just telling me, hey, you got AIDS, see you later. You're not actually helping me get better. What do you do? Well, he says it right here. So if your eye, even your good eye, causes you to lust, gouge it out. Get rid of it. And I think the first thing that we have to talk about before anything else, I think Jesus is saying, take lust seriously. Take it serious. Because this is just one of those things that, everyone deals with it. Yes, and I think, and I'm pretty sure we're all humans. So we probably all do in some capacity. So it's like, okay, everyone deals with it. No. He says, hey, take this seriously. Take it serious. And that's that's like the 8th thing on our to-do list during the day. Got to get to work, got to make some money, got to check Instagram, got to check TikTok, all that stuff. Oh, by the way, hopefully I don't touch myself throughout the day. We don't take it serious. Like, this is something that we have to work every single day for. That's what Jesus is saying, take it serious. Take it. And you know what that requires? And I'll give you, here's something that if maybe you're in the room or online, you can do this privately. There's a website called Covenant Eyes. I don't know if you ever heard of it. Maybe somebody in the room's heard of it. So Covenant Eyes, when you sign up for this website or this app to be downloaded onto your phone, it then tracks everything you look at. But the cool thing about Covenant Eyes, and I've been one of these people, you have to bring on an accountability partner with the app. So that's scary, right? So you have to, somebody else, when the app dings or the website dings and they say, hey, you're looking at something sketchy you probably shouldn't look at, it will notify your accountability partner. I'll then get a text. So I've had a couple people ask me, hey man, can I get your email? Will you be my accountability partner on this? I'm struggling with pornography. Will you help me? I was like, yes. And randomly, I'd get an email and it would show me like blurred images of something somebody's saying, and now what do I have to do? I have to call somebody. But maybe you're struggling that much and you need to take the step and say, what's more serious than bringing somebody along with you in the journey? You know what that requires you to do when you say, I'm struggling? You have to admit that I have a problem. I have a problem. If I go into the gym and I want to lift really heavy weight, do I not bring somebody else with me to do what? To spot, to be an accountability, because this weight might be too heavy. And for a lot of people, their struggle with pornography is too heavy for them. So what do they need? I need accountability. I need a spotter. I need someone helping me when this urge, when this desire gets too hard. I need somebody to help me out. But that requires you to step out and say, hey, I struggle in this area. Will you help me? And you won't get help until you're open with what you struggle with. And when Jesus says, hey, gouge out the eye, he's saying, hey, bro, lady, whoever you are, take this serious. So, and I love that he edits out, and this is when I started reading this for real, and I said, God, what are you saying? He says, so if your eye Not so if your eye causes, he says, even your good eye, even the thing you need. I need my phone. I don't know where my phone, I need my phone. I make money through my phone. I work from my phone. But he says, even if there's an excuse to keep it, get rid of it. But I work at this job. Yes, I've slept with my boss a couple times, but I like this job. I've said, get rid of it. Even the thing you need. The paycheck, get rid of it. If it's causing you to lust, if it's causing you to stumble, this is my one. Could you imagine you get rid of your one good eye? And he's like, hey, I'd rather you bump into stuff all the time than for you to really, I'd rather it be a little bit harder while you adjust to living with one eye. Because you'll adjust to it. Delete the app. Right now, just delete it. But hey, I got followers there, man. I get likes there. I got my family's there. You know what else is there? The very thing. The workplace, whatever. You know, and I didn't even write this, but like there's a real thing about like my work husband or my work wife. And that's like normal. That's like a normal thing. Like I'm at home and I'm committed to this husband or this wife, but when I go to work, like I've got this husband and this wife bro, stop. Get out of that. That's dangerous. And I think Jesus knows when you struggle with it just a little bit, it's only going to grow. He's saying, hey, before you commit adultery, let's deal with lust. Long before you get over here, let's deal with some stuff you struggle with over here. And that's a lot harder. So, 29. So if your eye, even your good eye, causes you to lust, rip it out. Gouge it out. Get rid of it. And hey, this is, yes, he's talking about lust, but this is in any area. When you struggle with something, remove it. Get rid of it. Tyler, get rid of it. Why does he use this language? We come to the end. This is the end, I promise. It's a little uncomfortable for me, okay? I'm with you. I feel you. I vibe with you. But I've got to ask, why is Jesus talking like this? I can guarantee you, I've read the Old Testament quite a few times. Nobody was talking like this. Why is Jesus talking like this? And he says it at the end of verse 29. So if your eye, even your good eye, causes you to lust, gouge it out and throw it away. Why? Why do I have to take this so serious? It is better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to go to hell. I read that and, you know, you grew up in church, you knew if I drank, I was going to burn in hell for it. Turn or burn, right? Like the whole thing. We've heard it, we've seen it, we've been there, whatever. When Jesus talks like that, yes, he says, gouge it out. I'd rather for your eye to be gone than for your whole body to be in hell. Don't think he's really saying, lose your eye so you don't lose me. Lose your hand so you don't lose me. Because this keeps you separated from him. That's why he's so passionate about it. It's not don't have fun. It's, hey, I want to be with you. This is going to keep you from me. Don't stress the eye. Stress being with me. That changes the narrative. That changes why he's talking so much. If my daughters were going to do something and I knew that it was going to break my heart, I knew it was going to hurt them, I'd be loud. Don't jump off that. Don't do that. And that's what he's saying here. Lose your eye before you lose me. Lose it. And so we have to ask ourselves, in my everyday life, do I follow lust or love? Two things, two options, two paths that you go down. Do I follow lust? Which here's what I'll tell you, if you follow lust, there are endless amounts of streets. If you think okay, if I can just get down this one street with this one person, it'll all be good. No, if you followed lust, that will lead you. You'll get tired of that street very quickly. And you'll see, oh, down this path, there are like 800 other streets. Oh, snap. But when you say, okay, Jesus, what are you asking me to do? I'm going to follow you because I know that you're doing something in my life. And you go here, there's only one path. There's only one road. There's only one thing you can look at. Kind of takes the stress off. I'm not searching for anybody. If you're single, why are you searching for anybody? He's given you this path right here. Lust, if you follow that path, yeah, you're going to be looking. You've got the whole, dude, look at all this. I'm on a college campus. Look how many guys or girls are. Of course. But no. Right when you change and you go from, okay, I'm off this path with 8,000 other paths to right here is me and you, Jesus. That's it. I don't care if another path comes up at all. I just want you. Then when you see someone else on this path, you go, oh, snap, how'd you get on this road? No one else has been on this road in a long time. And you go, oh, snap, I think this is it. You got to ask the question, and we're done, I promise. Just every day, what do you follow? You wake up. Jesus, what do you have for me? What do you want from me? And this isn't just single, right? Single people aren't the only people that struggle with lust. Married people, engaged people, whatever. Jesus, what do you have for me? What are you doing in my life right now? And the more you begin to ask that question, the further you get down this street and you realize, oh, I haven't even thought about any other person, any other guy, any other girl, whatever. I haven't thought about anything. But when you wake up and go, okay, what does the world have for me? Where am I going to find Prince Charming? Where am I going to find the girl? Where am I going to do all this? You're going to be looking down 8,000 other streets. And here's what I'll tell you, when you chase lust, you'll never stop running. You will never stop running. You will get tired over here. When you say, Jesus, what do you have for me? You don't even have to run. He's right there. He's telling it to you the whole time. Be in the Word, be in prayer, be worshiping, whatever. Don't move at all. Something's coming. And that's my prayer. I don't know who you are. I know this is a weird time. I've never talked on it like this before. And just as I heard Jesus' words, I'm like, dang. I need this. So wherever you are, I just want to pray that you wake up in the morning or right now, you just make a decision. Jesus, it's you. It's always been you. It's always going to be you, and it will always be you. Just because you're married doesn't mean you don't dabble on these streets every single morning you wake up. God, we love you. I'm so thankful that you gave us your Bible, you gave us your Son, and he was not afraid to talk about the things that we don't want to talk about, because he's more concerned about how our heart is than how we view him. God, I struggle in this area. God, I pray that you would begin to work in me, that every single morning I would continue to wake up with self-discipline, with self-control, a conviction from your Holy Spirit to be the man, to be the husband, to be the father, to be the pastor, to be the Christian, to be the friend that you called me to be. And God, whoever has made it this far in the message, God, I pray that your Holy Spirit would begin to convict them and work in them and grow them and mold them. And God, I'm thankful that you care about our hearts so that we can be close to you. God, I love you. We thank you. We praise you. And we're sorry when we've messed up. We've broken your heart. God, we want to come back to your path. Lord, we love you. In your name we pray. And everybody said, amen. Hey, what's up? My name's Tyler, and you are a part of our Different Church YouTube campus. And I just want to say thank you. I'm the pastor here. And here's a few things that you can do to stay a part. 1, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Be alerted anytime something drops or releases. We want you to be a part. We want you to be encouraged and inspired and figure out what your different is. But maybe you want to tell your auntie, your uncle, your cousin, whoever. Maybe you want to send that, just share it. Because what I've learned in ministry, people will open a link to a church long before they ever open the door to a church. And maybe you're on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. Follow us, Different Church Nashville. Be a part, see what we're doing every single day. And maybe, last but not least, you're an OG, you're a real one. You really want to get plugged in. All you got to do is go to different.church. That's DFRNT.church to find out more about us, the church, how to give, how to be a part, all of that. But I love you, and I will see you next video.